Alright, here we go with another episode of Monday Night Raw. This time we are looking at a taped episode of Raw. This one was taped on April the 12th, 1993, but aired the week after. So, commentators again this evening: Vince McMahon, Randy Savage, and Rob Bartlett. The show opens with a Money Inc. promo hyping their upcoming match, and basically they said that if the Mega Maniacs can't beat them, then the Beverley Brothers don't stand any chance. We then get a Beverley Brothers promo where they are all in blackness, apart from being able to see just them. They say they will bankrupt Money Inc. here on Monday Night Raw, and then do a look to camera. It was, yeah, kind of, if you imagine the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody kind of video, that's the bit we get here with just, yeah, being able to just see them, and they say they're going to bankrupt Money Inc. and then kind of just do a head turn to camera. We get the opening video for Raw, and next up, our commentators welcome us into the arena. First match of the evening is Ramon versus Virgil. Virgil's coming out to the ring and looking very happy and hand slappy as he comes down to the ring. Vince makes reference to how Razor is oozing with machismo. Razor wrestling with a toothpick behind his ear. Pretty impressive that he keeps that there for most of the match, if not all. Razor gets whipped into the ropes and we get a waistlock from Virgil. Razor goes to the ropes again and goes for an elbow, but Virgil uses his speed to move out of the way. We get a tie up in the corner and we get some knees from Razor. Small package attempt by Virgil, gets a 2, and then Virgil with an arm wringer and another. Razor reverses an Irish whip and Virgil gets hit with an arm drag, which looked a little bit sloppy. Virgil goes for a drop kick, but Razor hangs on to the ropes. Razor takes over and locks in an abdominal stretch after a few right hands. Virgil fights out with a hip toss, Razor with an elbow drop and a scoop slam. Slaps Virgil around the head a bit. We get a kick to the gut from Razor. Down goes Virgil. Razor stands on Virgil's neck as he's over the top rope and sort of an STF from Razor, but Virgil gets to the ropes after banging the mat to no crowd reaction whatsoever. Virgil hits a clothesline off the second rope and tries to hit a crossbody, but Razor ducks, hits the Razor's edge and gets the 1-2-3. We then get a quick check-in with Vince and Co, and Rob says that he will be interviewing Bret later on as they discuss the mess of Rob's face and what Luna did to him. When we come back from the break, we get Giant Gonzalez is making his way to the ring with Harvey Whippleman, and LA Gore is already outside the ring and doesn't look too happy about having to get in there with Giant Gonzalez. Giant Gonzalez, however, does drag LA Gore into the ring. He takes hold of his head and sort of pulls him up and in. What looked like a big boot from Gonzalez, but ends up with it being more of a kick to the gut. We get a hard chop, and what was supposed to be a chokeslam gets the win in a little over a minute. Pointless match. I guess it puts over that Giant Gonzalez is big and scary, but yeah, pointless. It was about a minute. Vince talks about Luna making her Raw debut last week, and now we get a Luna promo in what looks to be some kind of dungeon with chains. She says that Sherry put her nose in Luna's business. We see a highlight package of the First Aid Station brawl at WrestleMania that we didn't actually get to see in our WrestleMania show. If you want to go back and listen to that, we didn't see the brawl in the backstage area, but we do get to see it here. And then we come back to Luna, who's doing some crazy screaming and talking. It's brilliant character work from Luna. We see a recap of Luna tearing Sherry's clothes off last week, and Luna does some more screaming. Second week in a row, Luna absolutely knocked it out of the park. Really good promo from Luna again. Next up, we get Tatanka versus Art Thomas. Tatanka comes running out to the ring as we come back, and Art Thomas is waiting for him. They talk about Tatanka being undefeated still, as Art attacks from behind and takes control. He takes Tatanka into the corner and hits some punches, whips Tatanka into the ropes and hits an elbow. Tatanka gets taken headfirst into the turnbuckle. Art looks a little lost here, and Tatanka takes over with an armbar and a slam, but misses an elbow drop. It did really look like Art kind of lost his way or hadn't heard. I don't know. Yeah, it looked like he got a bit confused. Art hits Tatanka into the corner again, but Tatanka does his hulking up, hits some chops and a Samoan drop and gets the win. I'm really getting quite bored of Tatanka now. It's the same thing. He gets beaten up a bit. He does his skipping around the ring, couple of chops, Samoan drop, win. It's I'm not loving that he's undefeated. I don't care enough about him, I guess, which is maybe from the storyline point of view. Like, what does all of this do for Tatanka? He doesn't seem to be building like a big babyface run to anything. He's had his match with Shawn. We haven't heard it mentioned since. We don't seem to be mentioning that he's moving on to another feud. He's not having a rematch with Shawn. It's just Tatanka comes out, does a match, does some chops. That's it. So yeah. So we're going to have Money Inc. up next when we come back. I think last week they said that this was not for the titles, so I guess this isn't a tag team title match. So Ted and IRS come out first, and Vince says that both teams are undesirable. It is definitely a heel versus heel match. IRS tells the crowd that if they didn't pay their taxes on April the 15th, then they won't get an extension. What a brilliant heel promo, IRS. What a way to build heat. We get a Steiner's lifting weights promo for Ico Pro and the Macho Man Slim Jim advert. We come back, and now out come the Beverley Brothers. Ted and IRS attack from behind, but the Beverley Brothers fight back. Vince says that he doesn't think anyone cares who wins this match. Okay, what are you on about, Vince? Nobody cares who wins this match. Then why book it? It's a heel versus heel match with the titles not on the line, and Vince is telling us that he doesn't think anyone cares who wins this match. Vince also says that if the Beverley Brothers do win it, then they'll be in contention for a championship match. Okay, some logic there, I'm sure, but I don't know what it is. Blake starts out against Ted. They trade arm ringers and hammerlocks before Blake gets a slam and tags in to Bo. As he comes in off the top rope, we get another quick tag, and back comes Blake. Quite a fast offense from the Beverley Brothers, actually, but then it gets slowed down by Blake as he locks in an armbar. Bo comes back in, and he keeps working on the arm of Ted. We get a tag to IRS, but the Beverley Brothers distract the referee, and he didn't see the tag, so Ted stays in and gets double teamed. Still with this strange sort of heel dynamic, both teams are distracting the ref and stopping tags. It's, not working for me with this at the minute, this heel match. We get Ted rammed shoulder first into the corner and whipped into the other corner, but he gets an elbow up and hits a slam of his own. In comes IRS, who misses an elbow drop, and the Beverley Brothers take over on his arm. We get more quick tags. Nice takedown, gets a 2 count for the Beverley Brothers. Again, Vince asks who the crowd want to see win, or that they don't care. We get more double teaming from the Beverleys, and we go to the adverts with IRS in the corner. When we come back, we get IRS having a headlock locked in, and we hear the Irwin chant start. Ted and IRS now with no tag, and now the ref just believes them that they made the tag, even though he didn't see it, and he didn't see it earlier, but he didn't believe them. Now he's not seeing it, but now he does believe them. Ted goes for a back body drop, but Bo kicks Ted. In comes IRS, who misses a clothesline as Bo ducks and hits one of his own. Tag back in to break up the tag, and he goes for the back body drop, but this time Bo connects with a neck breaker. In comes Blake and hits a back body drop on Ted and a slam, but tags Bo back in, and Vince can't understand why he would do that. Nope, because he's just been beaten up for a while, but he suddenly looks quite fresh and stays in and hits 2 back body drops. IRS comes in to break up the pin. Makes me think that they messed something up there because it was the same spot twice in a row. Blake holds Ted, but he ducks, and Bo hits his own partner with a clothesline to knock him out of the ring. Ted gets a roll up and the win. Okay. It was alright. Not the best match I've ever seen. It was 2 heel teams that both used heel tactics. Neither of them really took a babyface stance in the match, which made it really kind of awkward, and I almost agree with Vince. I didn't care who won that match. So next up, we're going to hear from Bret Hart after the WWF Mania promo with Todd Ayers. It's going to be the first time that we've heard from Bret, or indeed seen Bret, since he lost the title at WrestleMania. We come back from the WWF Mania promo and we're back in the ring and Vince is here. He brings Bret Hart out and he really, I feel at least, he really emphasises as he's announcing Bret that he is the former WWF champion. Bret comes out to a decent pop. He seems happy enough. Randy calls him the People's Champion, which I was a bit surprised to hear. Yeah, Bret Hart, the first People's Champion. Vince points out again that he lost the belt when he faced the 500 plus pounder at WrestleMania. Bret says he's always been the underdog and being the champion was challenging for him. He always felt like an underdog. He liked it though, and people think that he's done, but he's won and lost before and lists how many titles he's lost, but he's proved people wrong and they are wrong this time. He says he feels a little bit naked without the belt and he says he's going straight back to the top. He's made a hit list, and the person at the top of that list is Lex Luger because of what happened earlier in the day at WrestleMania. So if you didn't listen to the WrestleMania review that I did, what happened was apparently earlier in the day at WrestleMania, Lex knocked Bret out with the forearm. So although Bret lost his title, you would think he would want a rematch for the title. No, Bret's top priority is Lex Luger. A Lex Luger Bret Hart match might be quite good, might be worth a watch. So Bret says that Lex is his top priority on his hit list. Vince and Bret say that there should be an investigation into Lex's elbow as he's never been hit that hard and suggests there's more than just bone there. Bret says that he's going to show Lex that this isn't bodybuilding, it's wrestling. Quite a nice burn from Bret there. Bret goes on to say that Yokozuna and even the immortal Hulk Hogan better watch out because he's coming back to the top. I feel like it was certainly a bit of a dig at Hulk in the promo from Bret. It was an interesting one. Kind of good though, kind of good promo from Bret. After the break, we get Bam Bam in action. And after the break, we have the ring girl holding up her card and indeed, here comes Bam Bam. Bam Bam is going to be facing Phil Apollo in our main event of the evening. Bam Bam gets in the ring and we start with a tie-up and a headlock from Phil, but Bam Bam overpowers and throws Phil into the ropes and hits a couple of shoulder blocks, then a flying elbow and a snapmare, twists the head of Phil. Bam Bam with the headbutt and a whip, but misses a charge into the corner. Phil goes for a dropkick, but Bam Bam just swats him away. He hits a suplex and we see Doink coming down the aisle, spraying fans with his umbrella again this week. Bam Bam with the toss and kicks to Phil in the corner. We focus on Doink, a bit more than we should probably, as he walks back to the entrance. Kicks from Phil, but an eye rake, and Bam Bam comes back into control. This time he hits a splash in the corner. Phil gets a couple of kicks in, but that's all, and then Bam Bam hits a splash, goes to the top rope, hits a flying headbutt, and gets the pin. After the match, we get a recap of the headbutt, and Bam Bam goes up and hits another flying headbutt off the top rope. For some reason, out comes Friar Ferguson, and he kneels over Phil to stop Bam Bam hitting another. Bam Bam kicks Phil and Friar pushes Bam Bam. Bam Bam and Friar then square up. Bam Bam goes to leave and Friar hits a dropkick. Interesting manoeuvre. He sends Bam Bam to the outside. Friar takes a drink and makes the sign of the cross. So last week it was his debut and he certainly came across as heel, and then this week he's not wrestled but come out in the main event and acted very much as a face. Yeah, not sure what to make of Friar Ferguson. Friar takes a drink and makes the sign of the cross in the ring, as I said. It was a weird ending. We get a WWF Figures advert and a Slim Jim advert. We go back to the arena for Vince to tell us that next week we'll see Crush versus Lex Luger. Not really thrilled if that's the build-up for next week, Crush versus Lex Luger match, but we'll see when we get there. Join us next time.